Good morning. Thanks for joining me on my call this morning on my continuing education. My name's Diana Hingle, for those that do not know me. And I'm actually on a short vacation. I'm excited to be here in Bear Lake, Utah. And I've never been here before, and it's beautiful out here. Perfect summer weather still. Nothing like I left the Northwest where it started just raining a whole lot, which typical. I mean, we really needed it because we were super, super gray and brown. No, not much in the way of green except for our evergreen trees. So thank you for continuing this with me on this continuing education. And, I'm always wondering what I'm going to talk about. And in the car, I have Sirius Radio and have discovered that there is a program that's all about, it's a doctor's programming, and it's all about different things every hour. And I happened to listen in on digestive, and it was very intriguing and very interesting, only because there were things that they were talking about that I'd never heard of before. And it's just, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, that could be an easy fix, right? Why medication? Or yes, there are things that we need our doctors for, because first off, I'm going to tell you, this is not about anything about treating or curing or diagnosing or anything. What I'm here to help you with is finding a simple solution for what ails you. Okay, there are things that, yes, you definitely need your doctor. You definitely need to be diagnosed as to what's going on. But once you have that diagnosis from your doctor, what then? What alternatives do you have? What choices do you have? So we do have choices. And that's what I'm here to help you understand, that there are choices. So in listening to these doctors, and they actually are true doctors that work on patients. And I forget exactly where they're from because I was like, just happened to catch it. And they actually have people, it'd be like having a radio station and, or the TV station, how they've got these windows and people can see from outside. Well, this is what they're doing at a hospital. I think that's great, because these are all physicians that work in the hospital to help you with your problems, or to help you with some information that's valuable to you, or to help you in the direction that you may want to go. Just a little bit more. They're not there to diagnose anything, because that's obviously they don't have enough information by just talking to somebody over the phone. And usually their people that call in are talking about somebody else, not themselves. And so listening to this, I was like, okay, so what can we do for some of those things that they were actually talking about? And I was like, just floored that I was surprised that one of them actually suggested that get rid of all the medication, okay, stop the medications, and see where your trigger is. What is the trigger? What's going on, so that you understand exactly. And I can't give you exactly as to what that was, because I didn't write down notes. I was driving, so I'm listening. But at the same time, I'm like, there are and can be simple solutions for a lot of what they talked about. So that is what I want to help you understand, what those simple solutions could be. So the esophagus in itself is about an 8-inch long tube, as we'll call it, that reaches into the stomach, that attaches to the stomach. And everything lays on top of it. Your heart is over the top of it. Your trach, your bronchial tubes are over the top of it. And so sometimes when you are eating, are you listening to what your body is telling you? And the reason that I am saying that, and my phone is going off and I don't know why. And the reason why it does that, if you think about what your body is telling you, then you can Are you getting food stuck? Are you getting what they call the acid reflux? You know, what are the symptoms or the things that you're experiencing? And the reason I say, are you listening to your body, is because your body will actually tell you really what you shouldn't be doing, or if it's something you really probably shouldn't be eating, because we are the worst people because a lot of us will eat things that make us uncomfortable or make us feel bloated afterwards, but we'll eat it again because we're not listening to what our body is telling us. So what I am teaching about is the alternatives using essential oils. That's my best thing I can tell you. And some of what we know about, or what we talk about, acid reflux, let's take that for an example. Most people think that that's too much antacid in their digestive system. Actually, it's not. It's not enough. And so what are you going to do to change how your digestive tract or your digestive system responds? So how do you create more of those enzymes? Well, first off, there's a lot of foods out there that help you with that. And also there's a lot of foods that we eat, and we eat it in the wrong order. And what I'm saying, like, there are, like, fruits, for instance, will create more acid than other foods and will sit there longer. And so the body has to work better, work more, work harder, okay? And so when you're eating all the other foods, it's like it can't handle all of it because there's not enough of the enzymes to, you know, factor all that in. And I'm not saying don't eat fruit. We have to eat fruit, but most of us are eating fruit out of a can. Okay, like pineapple. Do you eat fresh pineapple? Well, most of us, if we go to get a pineapple, we have to cut it up, right? We don't want to take the time. So we get a can. Same with everything else. We don't want to take time to get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, which actually have a benefit to our digestive system, not the canned stuff. Yes, what I'm talking about is the stuff that you're not canning yourself. If you're canning it yourself, you know exactly within that. If you go buy it off the shelf, there are preservatives in there, and preservatives are a foreign substance to our body. And that's part of what is the other problem that we are creating, is we have a foreign thing and the body has to decipher what to do with it. So you have all these things, and you've got your foods, you've got your preservatives, you've got no enzymes or very little enzymes, and so your body, your digestive system cannot figure that out. Now, I'm going to tell you a story a long time ago that I wish at that point that I had known about essential oils. And this is a daughter that I have, that she was like 12 years old, and we went camping and she got sick. We thought maybe she had the flu. She started getting really upset stomach, throwing up, that kind of thing. She wasn't running a fever. And so we all decided, well, we should probably pack up and go home. Well, we did. And the next day, perfectly fine. And like, well, that's weird because, you know, well, maybe it's a 24-hour bug. You know, we all have that probably, most of us. But the following day, she got sick again. And she's throwing up. Well, this went on for several days until it finally just stopped. And it happened periodically that she would just all of a sudden start being sick, and she would just throw up, just like she had the flu, but the only symptom she had was throwing up. So of course I took her to the doctor, you know, to find out what was going on. I took her to a general doctor. Then that general doctor says, go see a specialist. So we went to Seattle to Children's Hospital, but she's got, well, I cannot quote you exactly the name of it, but what they do is they send a camera down the throat to find out what's going on. And so what they found was her sphincter, which is a little flap down here that keeps all your stuff down below. Okay, so it opens up. So as you swallow, that opens and allows things to go down. Okay, but when you're not eating, it stays shut. It's supposed to stay shut. So what happens when we're throwing up too much, then it can damage that little flap and then allow a lot of other things. But in the meantime, it's like, well, why does that happen? Yes, that can be damaged, and if it's damaged, you can't repair it. So you have to really be mindful of the foods that you eat. So what actually ended up happening is we had to put her on medication because what was happening, as we were told, that she just had to stay away from caffeine, which meant no pop, no chocolate. And like, that's awful, right? For a 12-year-old? Who wants to do that, right? And just watch how she eats. And because she was, her stomach was not, it was like acid reflux, but it really wasn't acid reflux. And she just didn't have the enzymes. And so I was totally shocked when I went to the pharmacy to get her particular medication. Oh my gosh. I was a single mom at the time and have 3 children. And my daughter, this daughter, had a really hard time swallowing pills. So guess what? We got the only liquid form of a medication on the market for this particular problem. For one little tiny bottle, not even a pint, just maybe about, just that tall, it was over $300. That really hurt the pocketbook, especially when you're a single mom trying to make ends meet, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. With that story being told, if I would have known about essential oils and really understood more about how the gut works and why it's important to keep our digestive system up to par, because it has more neurotransmitters in there than it does our brain. Okay? That sounds just like, really? Why? Right? Isn't our brain supposed to be the one to send messages out and know what's going on in the body? But our digestive system has to be well. And if it's not well, the rest of our body won't be well. We won't. And so knowing what I know now, which is why I'm telling you, is the solution to some of the digestive problems can be super simple and cost effective. Not $300 worth, and that was only not even for 30 days. That was for 2 weeks. So that's incredible. I would rather put an essential oil on me, and I love the product Digest Zen, and it's a blend with doTERRA, because I've chosen doTERRA for a big reason. doTERRA's integrity of the product is amazing, all scientific based, and they're constantly looking for new discoveries. The science is important to them, and knowing where the product comes from. And we'll explain a little bit more about that here in a minute. But if I would have known back then, of course, doTERRA wasn't around at that point, but if I really, truly would have known what I could have done, like putting on peppermint even, or given, peppermint and swallowed peppermint, smelt peppermint, that would have helped my daughter. Very simple. Because whether you smell it, whether you take it internally, it will help the digestive system. But the enzymes, though, if you're not producing the enzymes, there are products out there. There's plenty of herbs that will help the digestive system create the enzymes that it needs. And we have a beautiful, doTERRA has one that's awesome. It's called Terrazyme, Terrazyme. So Terrazyme in itself is, and I take it every day because as I'm getting older, I realize I have more gut issues. And I think all of us, as we tend to get older, we do tend to have more digestive issues. And so if we look at that and understand what we can do and really think about what we're ingesting, what we can put in our digestive tract to create a better response from when we eat. And so if we are there's that pre word, right? If we are looking to find something that we can put into our system prior to having a problem, okay? And most of us wait until we have a problem, then we decide to do something about it. Well, then you're working like you're just pedaling backwards because now you have to have more and it takes longer to achieve what it is that you're looking for. So when you look for essential oils, now that instead of that $300 that I spent, I could have bought a bottle that cost me maybe $25, $30 and would have lasted for months instead of just 2 weeks. And even with the Terrazyme, even with that, it's very little money, where it's like $35 for a whole month's supply. That's still less money than what I was giving my daughter. Now, I said that she couldn't swallow pills, right? Terrazyme is a capsule. But the beauty of that is I can take apart the capsule. I could put it in yogurt. I could put it in a smoothie. I could put it in the oatmeal. I could put it in anything that she would have been eating that I could have applied that in. And she'd never know. And she still would have created what it was. Now, if you look back at some of my videos, I do have a video on Terrazyme that actually shows you how it works in your digestive system. It's amazing. And it actually shows where at the beginning of my video, I have a bowl of oatmeal and I put in part of a capsule in the bowl. And it's pretty much dry. It's not dry. It's only got a little bit of water, very little moisture. And by the time 30 minutes rolls around, it's getting pretty soupy. So look for that and see if that's something that would be interesting to you, because knowing what you can do and be proactive about yourself. Now, I've talked about doTERRA. Of course, doTERRA wasn't around back then because we're talking around 30 years ago. There was essential oils at that time, okay? And they were probably better oils way back then than most of the oils on the market today. Now there is a difference between essential oils. Really be careful and look at labels. Read your labels. But the one thing that I will tell you is, even though a label says 100% pure, does not mean that you are getting everything 100% in that bottle, okay? So that the FDA doesn't regulate essential oils. So they do not have to tell you how much or how little essential oil is in that bottle, okay? It can be as little as 10% in the bottle, and they can still tell you it's 100% pure. And then from there, it doesn't matter. It can still be chemically extracted and still be called 100% pure. So really know where any company that you are looking at, what is the integrity of the product from that company. Really look into it and really know what they are doing and how they are doing this. And doTERRA does not grow any of their own products. They do not, they're working with distillers around the world. who have perfected their own. The only thing they're doing is helping them understand how they can have more crops, better crops, and that's a win-win, right? Because we still get good product and we get more sustainability, and that's important. Sustainability is important. And that's why doTERRA doesn't have as many as some of the other companies out there, because they are such a stickler with what they call the Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, or CPTG. That stands for quality, and quality is very important to doTERRA. Now this week is doTERRA's convention. I'm all excited because it starts on Thursday. So we'll have a brand new line coming out, which we'll probably talk about next week. I'm excited for that. And we also have, I'm really big into helping with your animal friends when it comes to using essential oils. And we have a panel of veterinarians coming on board to talk about that this particular convention. So I'm really excited. Plus, this is doTERRA's 10th year anniversary convention. So it should be some really exciting things for us this time. So again, make sure that you investigate any essential oils that you're using. If you're interested in doTERRA and you don't know who to go to, just Google doTERRA.com or even call doTERRA, and they will find someone in your area close to you that is a leader in the area, and they will be more than happy to help hook you up. You can email myself. I live in the Pacific Northwest, but it doesn't matter where you live. I'm there to help you in any direction that you want to go, whether that's just as a wholesale customer or whether or not you want to help other people understand what essential oils are all about and share the message. So you can email me at heavenscent, and that's an S-E-N-T oil, so heavenscentoil@gmail.com. If you want the live and replay links, for those that are listening to the replay, if you want the live link, you text the word at Heavens Oil, that's with an S, Heavens Oil at 81010. And I'll be more than happy to help anybody that is interested in that. Or get with the person that shared this video with you. So I hope you got a little bit about this and know that there are and can be many simple ways of helping your digestive tract. And look into that. There are alternatives. And even back then with my daughter, I really should have went to a naturopathic, because then I would have understood what else I could have done that could have created something simple and could have made her life even that much better. And yes, we eliminated the caffeines, and still to this day she has to do that. And she really has to watch, because she knows when she's had too much, because her body tells her. So what is your body telling you with the foods or liquids that you're placing in your body? And just be a little bit more mindful of how you feel afterwards. Is it something that you want to continue with? Or is it something you want to eliminate out of your diet completely, or just very limited as to how much you use? So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate everybody, and I look forward to talking next week and let you know what we got new. So talk to you soon.